There you go. So could we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Loudermilk. Ms. Alsop.
Here.
Ms. Weger.
Here.
Mr. Thacker.
Here.
Ms. Thieves.
Here.
Mr. Norris.
Here.
Mr. Thompson.
Okay, if the first one we could, item number 3, if there's any corrections of the preceding minutes if needed, but if not, let's take an opportunity to look at the October 3rd, 2023 Sunshine Meeting, and that is on table of contents, page 32. If you take a moment to look that over, then I would entertain a motion to approve if all, no need for corrections. Yes. There's been a motion. It's seconded. Motion made by Councilman Loudermilk and seconded by Councilperson Weger to approve the October 3rd Sunshine Meeting. All those in favor signify saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Okay, so the next item is October 10th, 2023 regular scheduled meeting, and it is on page, I believe, 38. Once you've had a chance to review it for correct, I would entertain a motion.
Councilman Thacker,
Yes.
just looking at this, it stood out to me just because I was not in attendance at that meeting. It should state the 17th, I believe, instead of the 10th.
Oh, it
Is that
is. It
correct?
says 17th on page 38, but it does say the 10th on the agenda. I'm correct. Thank you for correcting that. So I think the minutes are right. It was just on the agenda item. Is correct?
Okay.
Thanks for bringing that to our attention. Yeah, that's the one that we rescheduled because make sure we could facilitate the auditor and the attorney.
President Thacker, I make a motion to accept.
Motion is made. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any questions? Not. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next one is,
Can we note for the record I abstain?
yes, yes.
Thank you.
Abstained due to not being attended. The next would be communication, elected officials and other officials or agencies of the county. And with that, I'll start off with, I'd like to make a statement that's coming from myself as county council president. And then I'll give a copy of this to, for the minutes. At recent meetings of the Vigo County Council and the Vigo County Commissioners, our constituents have been present to express their concerns about the planned activities of the Wabash Valley Resources LLC in our community. To be clear, we have listened to those concerns and are committed to ensuring that all necessary steps to protect health and safety of our community are in place. We are making this statement to explain how we wish to move forward as a community and not to answer whether anybody was purposely misled about the status of the Wabash Valley Resources LLC permit with the Environmental Protection Agency. All of our business community partners, of which the Wabash Valley Resources LLC is one, need to work to ensure that community members have concerns related to the proposed business activities, have a clear process to have those concerns explained and addressed. We, as elected officials, will continue to evaluate the situation as it progresses. Additionally, we will utilize all tools at our disposal to ensure everyone choosing to call this community home operates within the rules and the due regard of the legitimate interest of those neighbors. So that's coming from both the commissioners and the council. We'd like to extend that statement out, and if anybody else on the council would like to make a comment about the Wabash Valley Resources, you feel free to do so. Not, we'll move on, and I think Commissioner Klinkenbeard would like to make an announcement as well.
Good evening, President Thacker, council members. Thank you for that statement. I think that addresses that very well. And as I've spoke to you, we are also reaching out to our local state representatives and our state senators for a meeting regarding Wabash Valley Resources and moving forward and getting our constituents answers to their questions. Let's see here. Oh, the other thing I want to talk about Obviously, me and Vicki, we're going to be at the Sycamores game tonight, so let's go Sycamores. Got to bring that up. But since last week, I believe I've reached out to all of you via email with the idea of coming up with a joint committee of one commissioner and 3 council persons to address the remainder of the ARPA funds, both in unrestricted and restricted. I think, judging from what I've heard back, you all you like that idea and think that would be a good idea moving forward. So I will be getting that on our schedule. Hopefully we can do that the 1st of December, once we get Thanksgiving out of the way and not out of the way, but once we're done with Thanksgiving, things like that. So as you know, I talked to Michael Wright, and he gave us some guidance on that, on how we could do that. So I think that's a good compromise, and it'll just, I think, save us some time and some heartburn, and we'll get this done.
I think it's an excellent idea, and as you know, we have communicated on this, and I knew that you were wanting to make that statement. I think it shows the cooperation of both parties working, or both groups working together. Any questions for Commissioner?
I just want to thank you as
Thank you,
well. I think the more we can work together and communicate and have opportunities like that, the more smoothly things always go. So
For sure.
I appreciate you taking that extra step with us.
Yep, good.
Great.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Any
it.
other communication from elected officials, other officials, or agency of the counties? Okay, reports from committees. Oh, did I miss somebody? Oh, Cheryl.
I just wanted to give you an update. I did talk to Bill Watson. He was here for the commissioners' meeting
Yes.
this morning. And I did check into it, and there won't need to be a special call meeting. There's already funding in the lit correctional rehab that we
Great.
already supplement to community corrections. There should be enough in that to get a security system the rest of the year. If not, if he pays part of the bill next year, you got plenty in there. So
Okay.
we already do a supplement to them for their therapeutic program, and there's plenty left to do the security part of it. But he is going to keep us, posted of all the rest of the proposals coming in and with the commissioners before they sign off on it. But they're coming in, part of them are coming in a little lower than what he anticipated anyway. But I've looked into it. You can use that.
Okay.
You guys should be good to go. So I just wanted to give you that heads up that it should be good for the commissioners to
Yes.
go.
Very
with
good.
that.
Yeah, I just thank you for bringing that up. I just want to add, yes, that he believes these are going to be on the lower end of the 300 to 500,000.
Very good. Very good. Okay. Any other ones under communications, elected officials? Only thing I will say is I met with the judges who the courts have asked for a possible executive session the first week of December there. So I'm going to try to see what everybody's availability is, probably the 5th at 5 o'clock, if we see what the availability is. I'll have to reach out to David as well, Councilman Thompson. So they'd want to meet with us, and so we will follow the process of advertising and having that ready when we get everybody's schedule. Okay, reports of committees. Are there any committees out there report? Okay, resolution or ordinance other than appropriations. So we have the one that we need, the resolution for reallocation existing appropriation 2023-15 adult protective services out of series transfers. So do we need to do this now, or do we do this under new business? Yeah, okay. And then the other resolution, I should have asked you before the meeting, I was running late. Resolution for reallocation existing appropriation 2023-16 Juvenile Justice Center non-reverting fund. We will address that as well under, I don't see it here in new business. Yeah, okay. Okay, so we do need to address it. That's
You
what I
need to
thought
go
on
in
the
and
first
address
one,
the
so.
resolutions for these.
Yeah, so do we have somebody here from Adult Protective Service out of series transfer? Come on up, sorry. I thought that was the case, but. Thank you for coming up.
Thank you. Rob Roberts, Vigo County Prosecutor's Office. Adult Protective Services is primarily funded by a contract that prosecutors' offices enter into with the state of Indiana, but we go through the same budget process because it is a reimbursable grant type of scenario, even though it's not called a grant. Part of their responsibilities in addressing endangered adults is sometimes providing immediate services that are needed, whether it's just food, whether it's to pay a heating bill to make sure that the heat is turned on. Sometimes it's even to place them into housing. And so those emergency services are something that have been budgeted for in the past. That line item is currently tapped out and technically in the negative. We believe that we can survive the end of the year without purchasing any more office supplies, and so we're just asking that the additional appropriation toward office supplies be moved over into that other series for those emergency needs.
And that, for those of you that looked at page 7, that is for amount of $1,599, correct?
Yes.
So, do you have any questions for Mr. Roberts? Not, Chair, to entertain a motion. Is motion been made and approved. Are there any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, then, do you have another one here as well?
I have 2 additional ones.
But they're later on, right? Yeah, okay, so, yeah. I'm just trying to stay on the game here. So, the next one is resolution reallocation of existing appropriation 2023-16, the Juvenile Justice Center non-reverting fund. Mr. Loudon?
Mr. President, members of the council, I sent you a letter explaining this. This is a transfer from non-reverting in the tune of about $35,000 from the food line item, $25,000 into building repair, and $10,000 institutional supplies. And I've outlined a few of the things we want to do. Paint the interior of the building, cells, intake, day room, showers, the hall areas. Got an estimate of about $30,000 to do that. Replace some of the window coverings around the control room that have been damaged over the years. And then the $10,000 for the institutional supplies is just supplies. Everything from, toilet paper to Clorox wipes to paper towels, bedding, clothing, sheets. Just we have extra money. We'd like to kind of stock up on those things. We had a lot of kids this summer. Our population is 19. We had up to 27 for about 60 days. And so we've really gone through the wear and tear with some of those, so we just need to get those replaced. And so this will help try to take care of that for us. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions, Mr. Loudon? And I'm sure if anybody has any time and they'd like to visit it, he would welcome visits. I've been there a couple times as a visitor myself. So,
Yeah, we'll have a Thanksgiving dinner for the kids, and then in Christmas time we'll have something. Obviously, we'll invite you guys over for that.
oh, very good. Thank you. If there's no other questions, Chair to entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion been made. Is there a second? Motion made and second. Is there any question? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you very much.
Okay, moving right along to Resolution 2023-17, Amendment to Statement of Benefits for Great Dane Tax Abatement. I believe we have a gentleman here that was here last week, came back to see us again.
Sure did.
Okay,
As a refresher, my name is Nick Weber. I'm an economic development consultant with Fagery Drinker, and I'm here with Great Dane. Just to refresh your memory, we won't spend as much time, but to refresh your memory, this amended SB1 resolution in front of you touches on 3 things. One, a adjustment to the capital spending improvement value from $7.75 million to $3 million. The second issue is to lengthen the time the company has to complete all 3 phases. They are currently done with phase 1. 2 and 3 will have yet to come, and we want until December 31st, 2025 to be able to get everything done, which is an extension of 1 year. And the third is, while we're going to keep $42 million of spending for personal property, and that was what was originally put forward 2 years ago when you approved this, we want to adjust some of the categories where that $42 million rests. So it will align up with how we're actually going to spend those dollars. So what you've got in front of you is an amended SB1 with those adjustments made, and then that will be what the company is judged against going forward during your annual reviews. I'll have it answer any questions. Al Martinak from Great Dane is here as well if you have any questions for the company.
Well, I'm sure Marie will. She likes to ask questions. And it's going to be about community involvement, just FYI.
No, they've already done it. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
even have to do that. No, I do, and I notice those, and like I said, you know, as someone who's a resident in that area, I always appreciate what you all do in reaching out, so. Good, okay,
If you
thanks.
see any trash that's from, for Foo Coffee or something, it's probably hers. So I wish you guys well. Okay, any questions for Mr. Weber? If not, we will entertain a motion.
I will make a motion to approve resolution number 2023-17 in regards to Great Dane.
Is there a second? So a motion by Councilperson Thies, seconded by Councilperson Weger to amend, to approve the amendment of statement of benefits for Great Dane tax abatement, resolution 2023-17. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you for being
Thank you very
community
much.
partners.
Yeah, thank you for being proactive and letting us know. I appreciate it.
Yes, early in that. So, under old business, we only had one item, and it has been withdrawn, and Commissioner Klinkenberg talked about that, how we're going to move forward with trying to get a joint committee together. New business, additional appropriation, 2023-68, infractional deferral, the 2023 payroll amendment, law enforcement grants and new equipment. I believe that is on, new business is on page 21. You want to speak to that on, because it's, that one is on the grant for that one.
Okay.
Payroll amendment.
The law enforcement grants that is, but the first part I put in, when we gave all the raises, is that fraction.
Okay.
So we see that on page 21, and we're talking about the total fractional deferral fund, $31,800. Anybody have questions on that? We have a couple experts who can answer. None, I'd entertain a motion. Something about a game tonight, people wanted to see. Thank you. Motion by Councilperson Weger, is there a second? Second by Councilperson Alsop. Any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So the next one is, it is the additional appropriation 2023-69 seize assets. It's and it is on page 22. Mr. Roberts, anything?
I know that at the most recent ledger that was sent out, our operating balance, cash balance in that account was at $96,000. I know that this request will diminish that substantially. Consequently, we also received checks from our attorney resolving some other cases, so we'll have about a $10,000 deposit coming through this week on that. But as I've said many times in the past, we keep a close eye on the actual balance, even though we may be budgeted more than what's actually in the balance. We're never going to ask for money or ask for a check to be cut when we don't have the actual money in there. So even though this is going to diminish it, we expect regular income to continue to come in and replenish that. This is a need that the Terre Haute Police Department has expressed directly that they would like to utilize these monies for, and because these are generated through investigations, we try to make sure that that's where it's going back, is to those law enforcement agencies to support them.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Roberts?
I'm just going to, just let you know in advance, I'm going to abstain. from this
Okay,
vote.
okay, very good. And I do have a question on it. It has the word vehicles plural. Is there purchase more than one?
This will cover the cost of 2 vehicles minus the trade-in values
Okay,
for the 2
okay,
vehicles
very
they're
good. Thank
replacing.
Okay, I just want to make sure what that is. And so duly noted, Councilperson Loudermilk is going to abstain from this. So is there I entertain a motion. Is there a motion for this request?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Okay, motion. Is there a second? Motion by Councilperson Alsop, seconded by Councilperson Norris. In favor of, any questions? Not, all those in favor of voting say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries with one abstain.
Thank you once again.
Okay, so the next one is the additional appropriation 2023-70 ARPA grant courthouse dome was withdrawn. Additional appropriation 2023-71 county general payroll amendment, page 24. And I believe the auditor's department would like to speak on that, either Cheryl or Jimmy would.
This is cleaning up the general fund for the end of the year for payroll increases that you gave throughout the year that we didn't appropriate at the time you amended the salary order.
And this is just for the county general on this particular one,
This is for county general only.
which it covers then the clerks, the auditors, the sheriff, recorder,
Sorry.
and coroner, assessors, veteran services, commissioners, planning, zoning, informational service, circuit court, juvenile court, public defender, emergency services, weights and measurements, human resources, juvenile corrections, soil and water.
Yeah, that's the only ones that needed a cleanup before the end of the year to
Okay.
give us enough appropriation to get through.
Any questions on this one? It's a lot of information there. We did it, the first reading as an overview, and so this material was provided last week. Any additional questions? Hearing none, accept the motion. Okay. Motion made by Councilperson Wager, second by Councilperson Alsop. Any additional questions? Not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Next one is, so we are now on additional appropriation 2023-72 community bridge payroll amendment. And I believe it's on page 28, maybe?
27.
27. So look at that one and see, it's just for that bridge, and it is for $24,300, including the perf, Social Security, and payroll salaries amendment, correct?
And that's for the positions in Cume Bridge.
Yeah. Any questions on that one?
So these upcoming ones are just to clean up,
These
kind of
are
the
all to
same thing,
clean
they're
up
just
all
in
the
different
funds through
funds.
the end of the year,
For the 2023.
Okay.
for the 2023 salaries that you adjusted.
Right.
Okay, I would accept the motion. Motion, is there a second? Motion by Councilperson Wagon, second by Councilperson Alsop for additional appropriation 2023-72. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Additional appropriation 2023-73 Highway 2023 payroll amendment, page 28. And it is whopper. It is, the total highway fund for all three categories is $125,000. Any questions? Not, accept motion? Motion made. Is there a second? Did you have a statement?
No, I was just listening to who made the motion.
Okay. Motion made by Councilperson Wager, second by Councilperson Alsop to approve additional appropriation ordinance 2023-73. No questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Nay? Motion carries. Additional appropriation ordinance 2023-74. This one is for the Parks and Recreation Non-Reverting Fund, 2023 payroll amendment, page 29. It's $8,550 for those same three per payroll and Social Security FICA. Any questions? Is there a motion? Okay. Motion by Councilperson Wager, second by Councilperson Alsop for salary, additional appropriation salary ordinance 2023-74, Parks non-reverting. All those, no questions, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you. The next one is additional appropriation 2023-75 Park and Recreation 2023 payroll amendment on page 30. And it is for the same three funds. It's $100,800. And so I would entertain any questions on that. We have the Parks Superintendent here, if you have any questions. Not, I'd entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Councilperson Dees. Is there a second? Second by Councilperson Wager. Hearing no questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The last one of these additional appropriations is 2023-73 drug court user fee. It's a 2023 payroll amendment. It's for $1,400. And are there any questions for this? I have
Just-
no.
Just a note on the drug court, we'll go ahead and do this because we probably need to do that, but just so you know, Judge Johnson did get a grant. Anyway, it took over this position who you had in there, which was your interim director.
Yeah.
I believe they've got a new director. The vet court director is taking over both now.
Oh.
So it moved, it basically took this position into that grant, and he got enough for one more position.
Oh, very good.
However, I did talk to him, we had made a little bit, we did give drug court some money for next year. I think that he probably will, I talked to him, I said, you need to bring a plan back, because the judges were supposed to do that. However, he wasn't made aware of that. So I said, you need to come to the council and talk to him in January, February, the first part of the year. Give him a plan that you're having for drug court. And the supplement that we did give, he may need to use for other things for drug court now.
Okay.
So I just wanted to give you a heads up that
Good.
that might be what he's coming for next year, but he is to bring you a plan, let you know what they're trying to do. Because that grant's not gonna pay the rent, which we talked about. So he'll still need some of that. I think we might just have to transfer some of that around. But the need for the amount might not be as high as we initially planned. So that all come to light last week before.
That would take care of our new business. Before we move on, honorary resolutions, I'd like to take a.
Oh, sorry, Todd, we didn't get a motion.
Oh, we
I
got a vote.
interrupted you.
I am sorry. I got the explanation. It got me excited. And this is the fastest meeting we've had all year, so I was,
Yeah.
so I'm sorry. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
We have a motion,
Ah,
yes.
man, I am really messing up the last one.
Sorry, I just wanted to keep you informed.
I'm not on any medication. Is there a second? Motion made and seconded. Motion made by Councilperson Wager, second by Councilperson Alsop. Any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing none? Motion carries. So before we move on, I'd like to take a moment for personal comment. I'd like to thank Joey. I understand this is his last council meeting. He's going to be taking employment elsewhere. Even though we tried to do our best to raise wages, he had a much better offer, and so he has to do what's best for him. So I thank you for your service.
It won't be as entertaining, though. You can watch us on YouTube.
Okay. You can be an extra viewer now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Now, moving on to honorary resolution number 8. We don't have any. Number 9, resolutions relating to fiscal policy of the council, none. Appointments, none. Public comment, limited to items not on tonight's agenda. Oh. Good deal.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Still work to do, but we appreciate it.
Good
Thanks.
deal. So she has a day job and,
And a few others.
so, very good. So if not, we'll move into public comment. Anybody, public comment? Mr. Southwood?
Yeah, I was curious about, because I heard about the community corrections that they need, one time I thought I heard that they needed 300,000, for the security system.
Yes.
Then they needed 200,000.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, how much do they, take in every year?
Oh, what their budget is? I don't have, their total revenue for their budget?
Yeah.
I don't have that number in front of me. I can look at that and, we can get that for you. It's absolutely, because it's public record, we do it as a budget, so, but I think what happened is this was, if I could speak for Mr. Watson that he spoke last week, is this was an unusual, request because the system is aging. It's 17 years old and in a security system, it's probably outlived its usefulness. And if we had to, if something goes down on that, then they have to, those ones that are on work release, they have to be incarcerated. I know a councilperson, Loudermilk, is on that board, and so he deals with that. And I think we are trying to be responsive to the community and to our overcrowded population already of the jail.
Well, the point of what I was thinking of, well, you're generating quite a bit of income.
Now, it's not going to be enough to offset that. Yeah.
Oh,
Is that what you're interested in?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
User fees?
Yeah,
Not-
user fees.
Not all the revenue that community correction brings in, but
Yeah.
the user fees that in-home detention and work release generate.
so, or just in a ballpark figure, would community corrections be taking in $1 million a year or $2 million?
They operate on a state grant where they get money, okay? That's how they operate on the state grant, and then they they also operate a little bit on user fees. However, those user fees probably,
I would say they'd be
no,
inconsequential.
they wouldn't total
Is that
$1
fair
million
to say?
at all.
Inconsequential?
But but their operations is operated by a state grant, but they also have to use the user fees to offset some of that.
Well,
cost.
it just seems kind of odd to me that even though, it's on these guidelines from a state or something like that, it just seems odd to me that when you're bringing in revenue and you have to have, after 17 years, you have to have, 200,000 or 300,000 for a security system, it seems like, if my home generates so much money, I have to pay for everything in my home. I can't spend money this place, this place, this place. It has to focus on my home. So, I have to spend within my means. So if you're generating so much money and after so many years, you don't have enough money to even pay for a security system that's not outlandish, it just seems odd that, when you're bringing in so much income, that some of that doesn't.
I think that's,
They don't have enough service.
What they do have the money to pay for it, but what Mr. Watson needs is the permission from this body to pay for it. It's not, we're not gonna generate another have to generate another $300,000 to pay for it. The cash has accumulated over a period of time, but they grant the authority to spend $300,000 on a
No
new.
different than the other individuals that came to us tonight and wanted to transfer money from one fund to another. It's the same thing, so. But, I mean, this really, Mr. Southwood, this is really a time for you to make a public comment. It's not a question and answer series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
so
all right,
if you
okay.
have a comment you'd like to
Okay,
make,
yeah,
we allow that.
Yeah.
But it's not stump the chump. You
Okay,
don't just
okay.
get to ask questions until you get one we can't answer.
All right.
And that's the way I understand it anyhow. Anybody else, any of the students from North High School like to make public comment?
I'll give a shout out to them, though. I appreciate Mr. Utterback encouraging them to attend public meetings, and I know these three gentlemen well, so it's good to see them in the audience. So,
Okay.
thanks for coming.
Here's-
I'll explain it all to you afterwards.
All right, any other public comment? If not any other public comment, the next thing would be accept motion for adjournment. 36 minutes. Is there a second? Second? Motion made, seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you very much. You have papers for us to sign?